Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over the season 2 patch notes that are going to be coming to Warzone 2 February 15th, I believe. February 15th, so a little over 2 weeks from now. I realize I'm a little late to the party. I've already seen most people talking about this. It's already been out for a few days now, but I decided I wanted to kind of give my thoughts on it, even though it's a few days late, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna skim right through all this stuff. I'm not gonna go through and read every single word. I'm kind of just gonna skim through and share my thoughts on the bullet points and whatnot. And yeah, so let's start off with well, the first thing I talk about here is overall stability and performance in the games, and the crashes and whatnot, reduced crashes, which is huge because I've seen a lot of people, not me personally, I've only devared like once in the past, I don't know, a couple of weeks, so it hasn't been too bad for me. But I've seen a lot of people, like streamers and stuff that I watch, and they dev error when they're going for nukes and stuff, like mid nuke run, they'll be like 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. Some people I've even seen, like after they pick up their nuke contract, they dev error and they have to just start all over again, which is insane. I can't believe that that's still a thing. I mean, the game's had crashes since it first came out, you know what I mean? So back when Modern Warfare 2 first dropped. So that'd be really good. That'd be really good to see that being fixed. Hopefully it actually gets fixed. I'm not going to read all this, but they talk about they're going to try and fix the audio, adjust some of the audio issues and whatnot, which would be really good. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I have a lot of inconsistencies with the audio. I mean, sometimes you hear people coming from a mile away, and sometimes you don't hear anybody until they're like already right on you, which is kind of crazy and a little weird too, because there's no dead silence in this game, at least not in Warzone. No, there's no dead silence in Warzone 2, so it's really weird how it's a little inconsistent. So hopefully that will fix it, or at least make it more consistent than it is now. UI updates are gonna make some adjustments to the camo menu, to social tabs, bundle screens, a little bit of everything. Looks like battle pass, the whole menu is gonna get, I don't know if it's gonna get like an overhaul or just some minor tweaks here and there. I'm not really sure what the plan is, but I think that'd be a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I mean, it's a little, the only problem is like, yeah, it's a little confusing, and it's not as like straightforward and simple as like the original Warzone UI was. But the game's already been out for a couple months now, and I think most of us have already gotten used to the way it is now. So the fact that they're going to change it up, I mean, unless they make it like super simple and straightforward like it was before, I think it's just weird to have to keep readjusting to like a new menu, because they've already adjusted it once before, and so now they're going to be doing it again. Let's see, weapon balancing. This is going to be I've already said this for the past couple bullet points, but I'm going to say it for pretty much every single one, because I'm happy with pretty much all the stuff that's in here. Is that all these updates are going to be good. At least I think so. Weapon balancing, I would like to assume this means like nerfs and buffs and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, analyzing, balancing, just like any other season update can be found. Okay, so nothing too in-depth here, but I'm assuming they're going to be nerfing the RPK, probably the Fennec too. I mean, I'm sure they can see what weapons get used more than any other gun. And I mean, that's all anybody runs. The Fennec, the RPK, and those dual pistols are just absolutely ridiculous. That's like all anybody uses for the most part anyways. It's very rare to see people using other guns aside from that. So I think if you nerf those guns and or buff some of the other guns, well, actually I don't think many of the other guns need to be buffed. I think those guns just need to be nerfed, because the TTK is already so fast as it is, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, so I think if you nerf those guns, kind of balance them out with most of the other weapons that are in the game, that actually may help with the TTK a little bit, because for a lot of people would say that it is a little faster. I mean, some people may think it's okay, but a lot of people think that it's a little on the faster side. So if you nerf these like overpowered guns, then we may find that the TTK isn't so bad after all. And there's another thing that we're going to talk about in here too, which will help with that as well, but we'll get to that when we get there. But yeah, so I think this also may include, and I'm not sure, this may include snipers being able to one-shot as well, which I hope for. I really would like to see snipers go back to being one-shot headshots, at least from a certain distance, and we can talk about that more later. But that for all we know, that could be in there, we never know. Maybe not. Let's say they're gonna be changing the Gulag. This is a big update. They're basically completely reverting the Gulag back to how it was before, 1v1 as opposed to the current 2v2 Gulag that we have now. They're taking the jailer out of there. They're going to be replacing it with the capture the flag objective in the middle of the map, just like it was back in Warzone 1. I mean, I like that. I know some people really like the 2v2 aspect of the Gulag, and I don't, just because, like, I mean, you do have the ability to like go in there and come out with 2 more kills than you went in there with, which is a good idea. I mean, not a good idea, sorry, but which is a good thing. But I feel like I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I always get stuck in the Gulag with people who either just like sit back and spawn and hide, or people who are AFK. I've even had people just straight up leave the Gulag, like we get in, you know, 3 2 1 go, like a start, whatever, and then they just leave, and I'm left in a 1v2 by myself, which is like, I mean, if I was I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not even like the best player in ever, so if I, you know, if I was a little bit better, I may not mind it too much. I may just be like, oh, you know, 1v2, that's just 2 kills for me, you know, but I'm not that good, at least not yet. So I prefer just one-on-one, you know. I don't have to rely on anybody else. I don't have to worry about, you know, just me and the person in front of me. That's it. So I like that. The objective, I don't really care. The jailer never really bothered me too much either way. The flag, not a big deal. I don't really care about that, but I do like that it's going back to a one-on-one. And they're also going to be throwing more loot, specifically cash, in the Gulag. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't think it's necessary. I think it's cool. Because if you pick up some cash in the Gulag and you win and you come back, you could potentially help your teammate out. Maybe you'll be that much closer to either reviving another teammate that's down, or buying your gun or something, you know, UAV or whatever. It'll make the regain a little bit easier. Speaking of cash, they're going to be increasing the cash economy around pretty much around the whole game. So they're going to be increasing just the cash that you're going to be able to loot, and also cash registers. They're going to be increasing the minimum from 100 to 500, which is going to be crazy. And on the ground, yeah, they're increasing ground loot stacks to 800 as opposed to right now, which is 100. And I cannot tell you guys how many times I've gone into a building and I found like 5 stacks of cash, all that are only hundreds, which is crazy. You'll loot like 5, 6, 7 buildings, and you'll come out with like barely $1,000. It's unreal. So I'm really happy to see that as well. Loot and inventory, I actually, oh yeah, that's right. So they're gonna be reverting back to the old looting system as well. So they're shifting away from the current backpack system, that where you have to go into the backpack and like look through the menu of all the stuff that was in the backpack. Now they're going back to the floating loot, which was back in Warzone 1, and which is also some people refer to it as vomit loot, where when you kill someone, all the loot just like is like all over the ground, you know, it's all spread out all over the ground. So in this case, it'll be floating above the ground, but you know what I mean, it just kind of spills out, as opposed to having to actually go into the backpack to see what's in there. So I personally like that. I know this is kind of a controversial one right here. I personally like it because I like to play the game fast. I like to just kind of get in and get out, you know. I want to be able to just, I liked how you could back in Warzone 1, you could run over the loot, and like if you were low on ammo, it would just pick up by itself, as opposed to and I know it's like one of those things people may like, oh, you know, why is it such a big deal? You just, you know, just press the button and pick up the ammo. It's not that big of a deal. Well, I you know, which is true. I don't disagree with that. It's not like that big of a deal. But it's just, you know, it just speeds up the game just that much more, just a little bit, you know. And I like to play the game at a fast pace. I don't like to just kind of, I don't like to be stationary for too long. But so I like that. I don't really mind the backpack looting system. I'm not gonna lie. I like, it's like, I've gotten used to it. I didn't think I was gonna like it when I first heard about it before like the game came out, but I've gotten used to it, and I actually do kind of like it. But you know, I'm happy that it's gonna be going back to the way it was before. Let's see. Oh yeah, and also medium and large backpacks are going to be taken out of the game. The only reason why I like that, and again, I don't even really mind the backpack system. I actually kind of like it. The only thing I like about it is the fact that it's going to eliminate some RNG. So like people who are able to find medium and large backpacks will be at a way bigger advantage than people with just like regular size backpacks, the small ones, because they can hold a lot more stuff. They can hold, you know, a lot more streaks, more self revives, more plates, munitions box, all that kind of stuff. They can hold so much more than the people who are not lucky enough to come across those things. So it just eliminates a little bit of RNG, which I like. I personally like to have everyone on in kind of like an even playing field, as opposed to like having RNG be a factor. So I kind of like that in a way. I mean, it doesn't really bother me either way, but I'm not upset about it. Let's see. Loadouts are going to be changing. Loadouts, let's see, something we pay close attention to. Let's see. introducing customizable perk packages. This I'm really happy about. This is something I don't know why they changed this. I don't like the way that like they did the perk packages in Modern Warfare 2. How like you have to earn your perks over time. I don't know. I think it's a little weird, but at least in Warzone you get all your perks all at once. And they also fixed they released an update so that the perks actually work as intended now, which is good. And now we're going to be able to customize our perk packages, although it is going to come at a cost. They are going to be let's see, they're going to be taking out some of the perks, if I'm not mistaken. Where they say that, yeah, so the slightly reduced pool of available perks. So it sounds like all the perks that we have now are not going to be available once we are able to customize them, which I guess it depends what they include and what they take out. But I like it. I mean, you know, I'm gonna be happy to be able to not have to be forced to use like what they provide for me. And let's see, they're gonna be decreasing the price of primary weapons too. That is not a big deal. I mean, it's already 2,500, which is pretty cheap in my opinion. So I don't think that's necessary, but I mean, you know, whatever, I guess. 3-plate vests. Now everyone's going to be spawning in now with 3-plate vests. No one's going to have to spawn in with 2 plates and have to loot for a 3-plate vest. Everyone's going to be spawning in now, and this goes back to what I was talking about before, where it eliminates some RNG. I like everyone being on a even playing field, man. I don't like, especially in this game where the TTK is so fast, if you only have 2 plates, like, it is a big deal. That 3rd plate is a big deal. So yeah, I mean, if you're in a one-on-one gunfight with someone who's even somewhat decent at the game, and you have 2 plates and they have 3 plates, you're most likely gonna lose, unless you're just like, you know, you have a really good position on them, or you catch them off guard, or if you're just like really disgusting and like hit all headshots or something. But like for the average player, if you have 2 plates, and the person you're fighting has 3 plates, you're gonna lose that 9 out of 10 times. So eliminate some RNG, make it more of an even playing field. I love this. I love that. That's one of my favorite things in this whole update. Movement, they're going to be increasing the movement to when you're plating up. It doesn't really specify how fast you're going to be going. It just says it increases slightly to movement while you're plating up. So I guess that's something we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, if it's faster than what we have now, I'll take it. Let's see, in order to make buy stations easier to access, they've revamped their approach. Spawn locations have been added and adjusted, which is a really, like, I can't believe they messed this up. First, they had almost no buy stations on the map, and then they added more buy stations, but they put them in the same locations that the other buys were already in. So it's like the same areas of the map have buy stations at them as they did before. It's just now those areas have 2 buy stations. So it's like, yeah, they added more buys, but like they're not in the way that we wanted it to, which is, I don't know why I don't know what they were thinking with that, but that's a little weird. So I think I'm pretty excited for that, especially come late game. There's so many times late game where like there's just no buy stations anywhere, or they're like 2 buy stations like right next to each other and there's a team camping it or something. So I think this is going to be a good idea, especially like I said, come late game or even early game actually, because like a lot of times guys, I will find myself like, me and my teammates we'll have all the money in the world, but then we have to travel like halfway across the map to a buy station that's probably already been contested or already being camped, and it's I don't know. And then strongholds, they're going to be changing up the strongholds. This is probably going to be partially due to the changes in the looting and all that kind of stuff. Wait, hold on. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm on about to be honest with you, but I don't so they're going to be changing the strongholds. The looting is going to be a little bit different, or the loot that's provided for you in the strongholds and the black site is going to be a little bit different. I've heard some people talk about instead of getting your loadouts, oh, that's why, because the strongholds and stuff, they give you like the backpacks and the vests and stuff. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, the strongholds, they give you the backpacks and the vests and all that kind of stuff, which now we're not going to have. So I'm not sure, are they still going to give us our loadouts, or are they going to give us the same stuff that they had before and just add some more stuff, or are they just going to completely revamp it altogether and just give us all new loot? I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen. One thing I did hear people talking about was I don't know if you guys remember back in Warzone 1, that Nakatomi building where you could go in there and get your specialist bonus. Some people were talking about that. Maybe you do the black site and it gives you a specialist. I think that would be a pretty cool idea. I don't know. It just gives you a reason to want to do it, I guess. Because I mean, if you're not going to get a large backpack and you know, you 3-play vest and all that kind of stuff anymore, I don't see like a huge reason to want to do it. I mean, streaks already spawn all over the map. It is so common to you can land anywhere on the map and walk away with 3, 4, 5 streaks. It is actually crazy. So that's not gonna be a big deal. I mean, we're not gonna need vests anymore. We're not gonna need backpacks anymore. I mean, gas masks, that's the only really thing that I can think of is like the loadouts and the gas masks. But like, you know, like you can get your loadout guns at the buy stations now, and for even cheaper now. So I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting to see what they do here. I don't play DMZ too much, so I'm just gonna very quickly just kind of show you guys this. It's gonna be tuning the enemies, probably nerfing them a little bit if I had to guess. Spawn points are gonna be switching up some spawn points. Michigan difficulty tuning, crashes. If you guys are like big into DMZ and you want to actually like know what these updates are like more in depth, then you can pause this and just kind of read through it. But yeah, I don't really play DMZ too much, so I'm just kind of skimming through. They're going to be fixing some crashes, which is good. Seasonal refresh. I did hear about this. That is a little weird. I guess all the missions, yeah, it's going to be completely refreshing all the progress that DMZ players already have, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know if I agree with that, but and I know a lot of DMZ players are pretty upset about that as well. So I don't know. That's a little weird. And let's see, changing up some locations, whatever that means. Again, I'm not really reading into it too much. Multiplayer, they're going over they're gonna be fixing some audio, perk balancing, weapon balancing. Hardcore is gonna be bringing hardcore is gonna be having its return to the game, which is cool. And they're gonna be adding some new playlists too, some playlist updates, ranked play, and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, so that's what we have going on there. That is again the season 2 updates that are going to be coming out on February 15th. So that is what, let's see, like 16-17 days from now, just over 2 weeks. So pretty excited for that. A lot of good stuff in there. Again, in my opinion, most of the stuff in here is like good changes. I'm really excited for most of it. Now I'm gonna go over real quick a few other things that I like to see, and I'm not like, this is not stuff that we need right away, because this in my opinion is already a huge step in the right direction. So I'm really happy with what they're doing, making a lot of the changes. I know some people are not super happy with it, because some people like the fact that this game is a lot different than Warzone 1, and people are saying like, oh, you know, if we wanted to play Warzone 1, we'd go back and play Warzone 1. Why are we changing this back into Warzone 1? And I get that, I understand, but at the same time, like, I had no problem with Warzone 1. Like, I know a lot of people say like, oh, you know, like people complain about Warzone 1 wanting changes, and now they added changes and people aren't happy with them. But it's like, I didn't really want changes to the actual game itself. I didn't want like mechanical changes like they brought in this game. I didn't want the looting to be changed. I didn't want like the movement to be changed. I mean, the fact that there's no slide canceling, I don't care about slide canceling. I could care less whether it's in the game or not. I really don't care at all about that. But like the reload canceling and like the plating, well, that has nothing to do with movement, but like, you know, changes like that. It's like the reload canceling and you know, not being able to plate while running, and the fact that there's no leaderboards in the game, which I'm about to get to in a second. Like the fact that they removed all this stuff and changed all this stuff is just a little weird to me. Like, I think if they would have added just new stuff, either a new map or the fact that you can go for nukes now, if they just added these things into Warzone 1, just something to change it up and make it fresh, not so stale like it was before. That's the things that I wanted to see, and I think that's the things that most other people wanted to see as well. But anyways, yeah, so I'm going to get into a couple other things that I would like to see changed, and I just mentioned the first one on my list, which is stats and leaderboards. I cannot believe that we are, what, 3 months into the game, and they still don't have stats and leaderboards for Warzone. They do for multiplayer, but I've heard that they're not 100% accurate. So but yeah, for Warzone, they don't even have them out yet, which is crazy. They've talked about like that they're gonna add them, and then it keeps getting pushed back and pushed back. They're saying they're working on it, but we're not really hearing much about it. I don't even know if we're gonna get it, to be honest with you. Some people are speculating that like they just don't want the bad players to know that they're bad. They don't want them to be able to go in and see that they have a bad KD, and then they're gonna get mad and quit the game. I don't know if that's true. That's probably not true, but it is a little weird if you think about it though, like why it's something so simple that's always been in every COD game, as far as I'm aware. as far back that I know of, it's been in every COD game. And now it's just suddenly not. I don't know, it's just something that makes me kind of scratch my head a little bit. But I'd like to see that added back into the game, especially because like right now in Warzone, I feel like there's not really much to grind for. I mean, I already have Orion, like I already have the mastery camo on every gun, like including all my DLC guns. I already have all 4 of the DLC weapons leveled up, and Orion on all of those too. And the only other thing really to grind for is either nukes, which I'm not good enough to go for nukes. I can barely even get a single win, let alone 5 in a row, and then do the contract on top of that where like the entire lobby is trying to fight you all at once. That's not something that I'm capable of doing, at least not yet. So that is not something that I can really go for right now. And the only other thing is like being able to watch your KD and see if you're improving or not, which I guess like you could probably tell just by playing the game whether you're improving or not. But like to actually being able to look on paper and seeing whether that number is going up or going down, I think is a big deal, especially like I said, where there's really no other things to grind for. Like some people just want to see their KD go up, like that's, you know. And I know some people are gonna say like, oh well, KD doesn't matter, blah blah blah, but like to some people, you know, some people care about it. So I don't know why it's not in the game. I don't know. Hopefully we get to see it soon. Another thing I'd like to see, this is not a big deal. Again, this is something that I can live without, but I would like to see reload canceling come back in the game. One-shot snipers, I would love to see snipers be able to one-shot headshots again. I do think the way that they did it back at the end of Warzone 1's lifespan is where it's a one-shot headshot from a certain range. So like I don't know what that range is, like 80 meters, something like that, between like 50 and 100 meters, something like that. And beyond that, you still get hit markers, but like within that range, it's a one-shot headshot, which I really think they should add it back. I don't see why they changed that. I mean, especially with how fast the TTK is. Some of the pistols even two shots. So the fact that a sniper has the same time to kill as a pistol is kind of crazy. I don't know, but I would like to see that. The balloons that they added in Caldera, that we can travel around the map faster, I would love to see that, just because like I feel like with how big this map is, Al Mazrah is huge. I feel like it's so much bigger than Verdansk, and I don't know how it compares to the size of Caldera, because I didn't play Caldera that much, but I know Caldera was pretty big, but it had the balloons. That way you could move around the map faster. So I would love to see that in Al Mazrah. Again, I like to play fast, so I think it just speed up the pacing of the game a little bit. I would love to see that. Portable buy stations, maybe this won't be such a big deal once they adjust the buy stations like they said they were going to, but I think it'd be cool, kind of like how they added in Caldera and Rebirth and stuff, the portable buy stations. You can just kind of like pick up off the ground and then throw it down wherever, and you can buy whatever you want. And the last thing I would like to see, and this is one thing that I'm briefly mentioned earlier that I'll get into later, which I'm going to talk about now, is the TTK. I do feel like the TTK is a little fast in this game. However, with the weapon balancing / tunings, whatever they're going to be doing, if they nerf the RPK and some of these other like really broken guns, the Fennec and those pistols, man, I think, and also the fact that everyone's going to have 3 plates now, just by default, no one's going to be stuck with just a 2-plate vest. Everyone's going to be able to have up to 3 plates. I think with those 2 things in mind, everyone having 3 plates and the weapon balancing, assuming that means that weapons are going to be getting nerfed, I think it will make the TTK feel not as bad as it does right now. Because like I said, with that extra plate, that 3rd plate makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. So the fact that we're all going to have that now is just, and it's just going to make it feel a lot more consistent. I feel like it's going to, because sometimes I feel like I die instantaneously, and sometimes I eat bullets. Sometimes when I'm shooting at someone, sometimes they die really fast, and also sometimes they eat a ton of bullets, and I'm like, how did I not kill that guy? So I feel like right now it's just a little inconsistent, but with these updates that are going to be coming out here pretty soon, it's going to feel a lot more consistent. And I feel like with that being said, the TTK will not feel as bad as it does now, but we'll have to wait and see. But I honestly would still like to see the TTK raised just a little bit. Maybe if they just had to add in like just a little bit extra health. I'm not saying like add in like it doesn't even have to be that much, even just like 30 health. If we had like 130 as opposed to 100, I don't know. I don't know. But the last thing we're gonna go over right here is Charlie Intel tweeted out. Let's see, when did he tweet this out? He tweeted out about a day and a half ago. Activision is sending out a new survey asking people what they think the new Warzone map should be. It includes remasters of old maps as options. Does that not confirm any potential returns? Oh, it does not confirm any potential returns at this point. I want to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think they're going to be adding in a second map for Warzone 2? Do you think they're going to be adding this back in for Warzone 1? Or do you think they're going to do something like Apex has, where they're like, where they're going to be having rotating maps? Or are they going to replace, I don't think they're going to, no, they're not going to replace Al Mazrah. They're definitely not going to replace Al Mazrah. But do you think they're going to bring one of these maps back for Warzone 1 and either have it replace Caldera, or are they going to add it in to Warzone 2 and again have it rotate with Al Mazrah? I would love to have it like Apex, where it rotates. I would love that so much. Again, I mentioned earlier where I think, you know, so my biggest problem with Warzone 1 was just the fact that it was getting stale, and I think some of that, yes, had to do with the map. I know a lot of people back in Verdansk were begging for a new map. They gave us Caldera, and then people weren't happy about that. Here's my thing about that. I don't like how Caldera just completely replaced Verdansk. I would have liked just to have the option to play something else if I wanted to. If Verdansk was getting stale, I could go play Caldera if I wanted to, and or whatever, or if it was rotating that way, say like once a week or whatever, we would get like Verdansk 1 week and then Caldera the next week. I don't know, you know, something like that. Just something to switch it up a little bit. But I did not want Verdansk to just get completely taken out. So with this being in mind, I would love to see Verdansk added back, man. I would love it so much. I don't want Caldera. I barely played Caldera. I probably played like 10 matches of that total, you know. I've already played way more Al Mazrah than I did on Caldera. So, but yeah, I think the potential return of a map or a potential brand new map altogether would be really cool and really fun, especially with all the other updates that they're going to be adding in with season 2. So I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think they're going to be adding in a new map, or do you think they're just kind of seeing what people think? You know, it's just kind of stirring up a little bit of talk, trying to get people to come back to the game. But I do know there's rumors going around that the player base for Warzone 2 has dropped significantly. Like, I'm talking like over half of their player base has stopped playing, which says a lot. And I think that's why they're going to be making some of these huge changes, and especially because a lot of these changes, they were originally like not interested in changing whatsoever. Like the customizable perks, for example, they originally came out and said that they do not want that to be a thing. That is not going to be a thing. They do not want us to be able to customize our perks. And now here we are, customizable perks come in season 2. So I don't know, I feel like they're just really desperate at this point to get some of their player base back. And so with that being said, I feel like they may end up seeing what people say with this survey, and if they bring back Verdansk, which or whatever, it may not even be Verdansk, if they bring back whatever the majority voted for, I think that's gonna help bring back a lot of people to the game, or at least have people talking. You know, I mean, it already does. It has people talking. I mean, as you can see, this was tweeted out just like a day and a half ago, and it already has almost 3 million views. So it has people talking, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Just wanted to go over that real quick. Again, I know I'm a few days late, but I just want to give my thoughts on it and see what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the new map, about all the updates, what you like, what you don't like, maybe things you want to see that are not in these patch notes. Let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point, please drop a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on the bell notifications, that way you guys do not miss any future videos. All my social media will be in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Follow me on all my socials. I'd really appreciate that. See you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.